This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.
Salud. Salud.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of
Rooted Latinas.
A podcast where we share our journey of adapting from a Latino household to life in the U.S., discussing challenges, transforming obstacles, and celebrating personal growth. We are your hosts, Maria Rocha.
Jamie Tovar.
Y Rocío Hermosillo.
Hello.
Hi. So
Cheers,
for
cheers.
those that are not here presently with us, you should have asked Jamie and Maria what it is that they're sipping on right now.
In the face.
It's clearly not cranberry juice.
Yeah.
No?
Jungle juice is what we called it in
Jungle
in
juice.
Did you guys call that
Oh
in
my
college?
goodness, yes.
And it got you messed up.
Super messed up. I have photos till this day of a friend who landed in front of the toilet on the floor face down with another friend having his, down to her face. And then we took a picture with her while she's down there. But anyways,
That's me.
it wasn't my idea, but it was funny.
You went along with it.
I did. It was my best friend. It's okay. She knows.
she knows.
And it was Antonio doing that. So it's okay.
Oh my goodness.
All amongst friends. Good fun.
Yeah.
But no, I know today we were doing something in honor of February, right?
Yes.
Yes. En honor del amor y la amistad.
Ouch.
I'm excited to talk
I
about
forgot
this.
you spoke Spanish. No, I was kidding. Till then. I was kidding.
No, es que como
Oh,
apenas regresé de México, se me olvidó el inglés. Por eso.
Don't you love that when you come back from your country and all of a sudden your Spanish is so much better than ever? I
Right?
love that.
Right, I
Háblanos
agree.
solamente en español. si gustas.
Yeah. Por
This drink
favor.
is getting me hot, y'all.
I love it. No, so with that, I know we had just talked about toss the idea. Just the power of love, or what does love mean to you? And I don't know about y'all, but I have seen the word love mean something different as I've grown and gone through different experiences. So I was curious, what does love mean to you? It can either be before or now, up to you.
I'll let you go
I
first,
do. I
Jamie.
do agree. Like you said something about how like love meant something back then. Now it means something different. I agree with that. It's just obviously because of the change and what we've experienced and stuff. Now we're older. We know about the love languages. Just like little things
Yes.
like that. Like, do you guys know about the love languages?
Yes.
Do you guys know your love language, all that, or your partners?
Yes.
Actually, part of our onboarding
Mm-hmm.
is for every single person that wants to be a part of Teammate. Yeah, we have them take the love language
I love that.
test, not necessarily for us to show them love in that kind of way, like you
Uh-huh.
were talking about with a partner, but to really understand how they receive that and how we can give it to them in a workplace,
Okay,
professionally, of course.
that's awesome.
I feel like
just-
I just recently learned about that a few years ago, the love language. I didn't know that was a thing, or like there was different ways of how you like to be loved and how you give love.
Yeah.
And I think mine was, I'm trying to think,
I
acts of service.
I was
Mine
gonna
was
say,
acts
I
of
think
service.
I know what it is. But
Yeah.
But don't you guys also think that it changes as you're changing, that your love language can change?
Huh.
Because I feel like I took it 10 years ago, and then I recently took it again, and like one or two like switch spots, because
Was it a drastic difference?
No.
Okay. But still messing with
Yeah.
the same. What's yours right now? Or do we want to guess? Jamie?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, let me guess.
So just
So
real
let's say
quick,
'em, yeah.
there's acts of service, like you said.
Yep.
There's
Gifts,
gifts. There's the words of affirmation
personal touch,
and personal touch. Is it one more?
There's one more.
acts of service,
No, we already said that.
personal touch.
She's like, those are the only ones I need.
Yeah. Words of affirmation, we said.
Gifts, we said.
Okay, let's
There's
just go
one
with
more.
those.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
Googling.
There's
Go
Yeah,
five.
ahead.
yeah, yeah. I think yours is, if I had to guess, words of affirmation.
No. That's like my lowest.
Really?
Yeah.
Acts of
You're a
service. So let me go
competitor.
through the line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with I think you like gifts, but I don't think they're your main one. I'm gonna go with acts of service.
Yeah, I think it's top.
One thing that you had mentioned about, like, have you seen it change? I feel like I've seen mine change.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, I was huge on words of affirmation. So I would love when people would tell me, like, oh, estás haciendo las cosas bien, good job. Like,
Yeah,
look
you
at you.
beautiful.
Yeah. And now it's like, that's the last thing I want to hear.
Yeah.
Now it's like the acts of service, like, you know, getting
Yeah.
me a coffee in the morning or
Yeah, little things.
little things like that. I feel like
Yeah.
go a long way.
Yeah. What was the fifth?
It wouldn't pop up. Google kept giving me something else.
Wait, did you share yours, Rocio? Or-
Excuse me.
What do you think Rocio's is, Jamie?
I'm gonna say the same. Acts of service.
Mine is very tied. It's like almost the same, but mine is the acts of services and words of affirmation. So for me, words mean everything. Oh, what was it?
Quality time.
Quality.
Oh,
Actually,
That's
no.
Maria's.
Yeah.
My
Quality
Maria's.
time.
Can you
Yeah.
tell that's clearly not ours?
Literally.
Yeah,
We
I know.
forgot it.
Yeah, I'd be like, bye, babe, go on vacation.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I thought we were
See you
hanging out on the
later.
couch.
Literally, you're right.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah,
No.
so the words of affirmation. So that's your top.
Words of affirmation, acts of services. Those are my top ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think just words.
Okay.
You can have an action, but unless you put words to it, it doesn't mean anything. So at the end of the day, I feel like words are very intentional. It
Yeah.
can make someone's day to it can make someone have a shit day. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think words are just really, really powerful.
Rosie's like, love me, but then show me.
Yes, that's
Just
intense.
say it.
Eso.
Tírame. No.
That's love right there, girl.
So I'm curious, can you guys go back to a time, I guess, when you guys were little, how did you see love? Do you guys remember, like, what you thought love meant?
I think like it was definitely like my mom taking time to like giving us attention, tickling us. Like she'd do this thing with her feet where like she'd pinch us with her toes, and we thought it was like she'd pinch us with her toes, and we thought it was like the funniest thing. And we're like, you know, but I have those memories, you know, where like I feel like because of trauma and stuff, there's a lot of memories I don't have, or a lot of things I've like blocked out. I can't tell you. Yeah, a lot of suppressed memories. But that's one of the ones where like I remember her doing that. We're all like, you know, we all shared our bed, you know. So my mom and three of us, and she'd pinch us with her toes.
Oh, that's so cute. You know, it's so
just like
funny you
that,
say that. Jay's always like, why are you poking me, Mom? I'm like, 'cause that's my way of showing you love. I'm like, I just want to poke ya. And he was like, okay. But that, I told him, like, that's my way of touching you and just messing with you. So I thought that's funny that you say that.
You're like, I don't get to hold you in my arms
Because
as
he
much.
doesn't want me to.
Yeah.
He's too cool for that, you know. But for me, it's now like just messing with him, poking him every now and then. So I know when he gets older, he's going to remember me poking him all the time.
Yeah. But that's what I think of love. And then obviously like the memories of like laughing and the good times.
Ooh, I'm like trying to think back because it was, at least growing up, like my parents never showed any type of affection or love. Like I don't think I ever saw my parents kiss. Like it was like not like you don't hug, you don't tell them you love them. Like it was nothing like that. Which then I'm like I'm sitting here trying to think about like what made, because I'm a very loving person, very affectionate person. And I'm like, what made me like that?
Yeah.
You know, and I think
so opposite from them.
yeah. I think part of it, I blame like telenovelas. That's why I want this fairy tale.
But
Yeah.
is it
Everything.
Is it because we also try to break what is it called?
Generational
Yeah.
curses?
Yes.
I
Don't you
think so too. And even just now, what I know now is like, you know, that frequency you give out where it's love, it's like good energy, like it makes everything else so much more powerful.
Yeah.
So like I'll say I love you too many times, I feel like, to even friends or, you know, anyone, just because I don't know, it's just, it feels good too. Like you appreciate them. You, it's a whole different, how I thought about it before is so different how I think about it now.
Yeah. Would you agree with her that in your household there wasn't a whole lot of that either?
Oh, no. What is
No?
that? Like, it's so weird to think about it now because I think within ourselves, maybe that was what we wanted. And so now that's the norm. Like in my house, you'll hear me say, I love you every single time before I leave. When I get home, I hug, I kiss, like all of that, because I didn't see that. I don't necessarily, before I used to think like, oh, maybe that's just how it was. And I would aspire on las novelas or the movies
Mhm.
of like, oh, this love is like this romantic fairy tale story
Yeah.
that doesn't exist at the end of the day, but that's what I was chasing or was going after.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I talked to my mom before. I'm like, what was that? She's like, I didn't grow up that way. Like, it
Yeah.
was never said to us.
Yeah.
Pero ahora, I'm always like, I love you guys. And I know it might
Yeah.
feel very weird to my family still, like immediate family. It
Yeah.
might feel weird to say those things because we didn't grow up that way.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't care. I just want you to know that I love you. And I'm not trying to make it feel that you need to say it back, but I'm just want you to know that that's how I feel
Yeah.
about you.
And we had talked about this in one of our first episodes. Yes, how like my family also didn't grow up with like, a lot of hugging or I love yous, and I started saying it to my siblings, and then at first it'd be like a pause, but then eventually they started saying it back. My little brother, I would literally be like, say it back. I would have to tell him on the phone, say it back, and he does, and now it's just so normal. My mom does it. We don't hang up without saying I love you. We hug, like all these different things that we didn't grow up with. But it's crazy how we have like similar households. It must be a thing. Abraham, our media producer, I want to ask you, because you grew up in a house full of boys. How was it in your household? Do you need a mic so we can hear you?
Yeah.
Come speak into a mic.
Come on over.
like-
Have a special guest real quick.
Yes. I want to know because,
People want to know.
It was a very affectionate household. I mean, with dad, no, but with mom, obviously, like it was mama's boy time. Always.
Aw. I love that.
So I definitely get what you mean. Like those little memories, that are ingrained. But yeah, affectionate household for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now the way I look at love is so different. So I'm curious, how has it changed from your perspective, or how has the love that grown with time?
I think for me, it's just been more intentional where like there has been so much growth. And I think we've all been through that, especially being Latinas and trying to find our way through this world where it's like, ni de aquí ni de allá, right? For me, like sometimes like I think about, I've had to like go back and really think about like, okay, why am I not saying I love you, or why am I not showing affection, or why am I doing it right, or am I not? And so I think about like some of the things that I've learned was like many like women find what they want to find in a man what they wanted from their dad. And so ever since I heard that quote or that, I was like, sheesh, like I need to sit down and it's like, wait, do I see my partner as a parent or do I see him as my partner?
Yeah.
And I had to go through a ton of like learning through that, because it was like, wait, I don't also want to make him feel like he has to be a parent to me, because he doesn't. He's my partner and there's different responsibilities. And so we had to go through a lot of unlearning and relearning.
Dang.
And it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
I feel like it's still a work in progress, especially both of us being from Latino household. I don't think we knew how to love a partner, So to me, it was, now the way that I see love is just more intentional, and I try to make sure I'm okay and I give myself the love versus looking at for somebody else, because it's going to be a repeating cycle if you don't learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And we've had conversations about this just randomly in the middle of a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Where it was just like that, like how can we become better? What does that mean? How can we have a better relationship? Because it goes back to love too.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like it's more of that.
And because we're changing I think a lot of us, it's so nice because we saw, like we grew up with something and we knew there was better out there. And with us like loving different in a different way and changing like our family's view on love, I feel like that opens up another, because I bet you guys have had conversations with your families or your parents that you wouldn't have been able to have,
Absolutely.
But because of, even when we're saying I love you, and it opens up to where like you're comfortable having these harder conversations too. So communication gets better.
Yes.
because they know that at the end
You
of
can
the
be
day
vulnerable.
you're coming from a good place.
Yeah.
right? Because
Yes.
that's showered in love. When you were saying that, I'm like, ooh, so many things we could open up and go through and deep dive.
Mhm.
I was curious, just real quick, Maria, for you, when you say that, like it's intentional, how do you intentionally use love in business?
Ooh.
She's like, next question.
I know. It's like, I plead the fifth. I'm just kidding. No, I think, I've been in such a wild journey with that because for me, I've always been a people pleaser. And to me, I felt like that was the way to fill my cup, just pleasing people. But it, like, I didn't understand again what love really meant and if that was really something that really pleased me. And I had to go through like doing a lot of stuff that I honestly think back and I'm like, I never wanted to do that, but it made the other person happy. And I was in this cycle of like continuously doing everything everyone wanted me to do. And even with like clients, right? Like we were available for them 24/7. Like literally you would text me at 11, 12, midnight. And because I'm a night owl, I would text you back. And it didn't help because I had no boundaries. And so there was times where I felt like I was just being walked on, like everyone would take advantage of maybe I don't know if they meant it intentionally. I try to think like it was never like that. But sometimes like you're pleasing everyone else when in reality you're like you don't respect yourself. You're not setting those boundaries. You're not taking care of yourself. And so when I started learning all that, now it's when those boundaries came into play where it's like, hey, you know what? No, I can say no to something I don't want to do or say no to something that I feel like it's just not the right time right now and feel okay saying it.
Yeah. Because you love and respect yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you love and respect yourself.
And you can't give that if you don't feel that yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's
That's beautiful though.
Yeah, I feel like I've come such a long way and it's just nice. Like you even live more peacefully,
Yeah.
Porque estás haciendo las cosas que en verdad tú quieres hacer. And at the end of the day, like you said, Rocio, you come from a good place. It's never viciously or in a bad way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, that's powerful. I'm over here like soaking it in. What about you, Jamie, though?
Yeah. What was the question?
Dylan Maz.
Because we went
Yeah.
that was a lot. Yeah. Just drink. No, just kidding.
So, no, it was just talking about, what does love mean to you now or today? Or how has it grown on you? You mentioned, that it's different for you too. Como lo mirabas a como está hoy.
Yeah.
What are those differences? Or I'm just curious.
Yeah. That, it's hard because like, I don't know about your guys' household, but I grew up in a household where like, this is a different type of love that I'm going to jump into, but it's like in a relationship, that type of love. I didn't grow up with like a good, like, ¿cómo se dice? Un buen ejemplo.
Like role model?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like just toxic in the household that I got to witness, but I knew that's not what I learned. Like that's not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not the way, I have. No, I
You have
can't.
to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, and now it's like you realize, okay, that's not true love. That's super toxic, not good, and then like I have a really healthy relationship and now it's like, okay, how do I get the rest of the family to see it? But it's so hard to get somebody else to understand that and be like, you're in a toxic relationship. Like you shouldn't be in that relationship, or, you guys need to work on this or that. Like it's hard to tell somebody else that. You just can just watch it from the outside,
I wanted to ask you, you said something that, at least for me, it stood out. You said that you knew that you were in a healthy relationship. How did you know that you were in a healthy one?
Because I've had a not healthy relationship. And then, so I've had a toxic relationship or two. And I've also had like two really like true love, like just healthy relationship. Or
what does healthy look like?
Healthy to me is where like I live my life and my days without a worry in my relationship. You know, I might have other problems in life, but it's not my relationship. You know, that's like my safe place.
So are you saying it's when you feel safe?
I think so. You know, safe and like that's where you're gonna go when there's a bad day, to your person, to your relationship,
So
not
you can
run
lean on.
away from that.
Right.
Then you know it's like that's not good. You know.
The reason I was just asking you, Jamie, is because you said some people like they might be in a toxic relationship, but what if they don't know what a healthy one is? So that's why I was asking you to say for any of our listeners, you know, that is thinking, am I in a healthy relationship or am I not?
Yeah.
And I think this is a question, I don't know if any of us can answer it, but you know, what is the essence of true love? You mentioned true love earlier, you know, and I think it means something so different to all of us.
Yeah.
So I was just curious to see what that meant to you.
Yeah, I think like if you know you're having a really shitty day in your relationships where like you can, like you said, feel safe and go and make everything better, I think you're good. You're set with that, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're having to go to your friends or other people to get away from your like your relationship's the issue. Hello.
Jimmy's like
Hello. Like you know.
Yes.
I think it's just so interesting to see like all the different perspectives, and I
Yeah.
love the love that you and Maria have.
Thanks. Yeah.
Like it's awesome.
Or how you mention her all the time.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Maria,
It is.
y'all doing something right.
Yes, it is really
so,
beautiful.
We're always like, look what we've built, you know, and like we are like proud of each other and encourage each other, and you know, like we have pushed each other to grow, not just like as people, but in our careers, and we're like each other's biggest fans, and that's what like I feel like it's important.
That's
to
how
have.
it's supposed to be.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Rocio?
Which part?
Take us to the finish line.
Yeah. How did you see love before, and how do you see it now?
I think before, kind of how I mentioned, era la telenovelas, the Disney movies, the princess. In terms of a relationship type of love, that's how I saw it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get swept away. We're going to ride off into the sunset. And then we all know as we get older, that is not what life is about. In life, siempre vas a tener subidas y también bajadas. And I see love now as the answer to everything. And I know that sounds maybe like very philosophical, like, pero I know that that's the answer, that love truly is the answer. And I can even take it back to un ejemplo. When I was growing up, our neighbor, Charlie, he did so much for us. I think I might have mentioned him in an episode before, but I never grew up with my grandparents around me. So whether he knew it or not, he didn't have to, but he would buy us juices, like juice boxes. So we'd just go over. He'd give us cookies.
Yeah.
He knew I loved tetherball, and he built me a tetherball pole so I could play at the house. So I had it there. We didn't have swing sets. What did he do? He got us a whole sandbox, brought sand in, and bought us like a whole swing set so that we could hang out there. And so I think he allowed me to see that love is not determined by your family or by blood. It is by whoever you choose to. And he allowed me to see that aspect of love. Yeah. And I think you have love as a parent, love as your parents, that no matter what they do, al fin del día, you will always love them because they came from you. It's a part of who you are.
That's so wild to
It's
think.
an extension of you. And I know there can be times where I might be upset or I might not see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean I don't love them. I love them. That's why I love them, because I care so much about what they do and how they do it. And we don't see eye to eye. In business, I've learned that's the key to be successful, is just love. Sometimes you're like, there's times I think as we've been growing this business, or even in my business, I'm like, what if they take advantage of me? What if, like, just thinking negatively. And at the end of the day, is like when you think that way, that they're out to get you, or they're going to step all over you because you didn't set the boundaries early on, and because you would do anything to people please in the past, then now I'm like, hey, al fin del día, I'm going to give you what I think is best in my heart and how I feel. And if you take it a different way, that's out of my control. And I have that peace, that joy it's given me that. So I know, I'm like, hey, I know I'm coming from a good place. I know
Yep.
my heart's in the right place. So as long as I know that and I can sleep at night, I tell them, as long as I can sleep at night, I'm okay with the decisions moving forward
Yeah.
with business. And then now with a partner, oh, this one, what I've learned is, again, I used to think it was that adrenaline feeling that you would get every single time you'd meet them or you see them. They get you so excited. I used to believe that's what it was. And now I know that love, with, at least for me, with my partner in our relationship, is someone that gives you that peace, that sense of calmness. They that help you go through the storm. And we might be in different situations, but at the end of the day, it's like, look, I love myself enough to know what I want, and I want you to love yourself enough to know what you want.
Yes.
And if at the end of the day we both want to do this life together and help each other on our journey, then that's what I want, because I know life is going to be up and it's going to be down. Y al fin del día, I want someone that I know, like, they got my back on my worst days, on my best days, and all in between. And gracias a Dios, it's taken us maybe about almost 15 years. And we've been together for almost 16,
That's wild.
15, 16 years.
Yeah.
And I think we've gone through all sorts of
Everything and
phases
anything.
Yeah.
in between. And I finally gotten to a point of like, oh my goodness, this person that's been on this journey with me has seen me literally since 16 at my ugliest
Yep.
and some of my best. And he's still there and still supports me 120%.
Yeah.
And I know when I have a bad day, I can still go to. That's pretty dope, because I don't know who you can say that has been there with you for that long,
Yeah.
consistently.
Right.
And like you said, knowing that
Besides family, maybe.
besides family,
Yeah. Yeah.
and everyone else in between is like your friends. You get to choose them.
Yeah.
I love being around you guys,
Yeah,
because you guys
same.
give good vibes, good energies. Nos queremos mejorar.
Yeah.
And so I see you guys as an extension of my family that I
Right.
choose.
I love that. You put it beautifully.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we think, like, you know, we're going to get to this point where everything's just going to be easy. Or it's just going to feel right. Like, this is my person. But it's like, it's a work in progress. And like you said, as long as you guys are both aligned, you're both good, and your values are aligning to where you want to go, it just makes it even more.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's beautiful, because it's not you against your partner. It's you two against the problem.
Yes.
So
it's always
switching that. Yes.
And
so
yeah.
thinking about it
And
like
I would
that.
say for our single listeners too, like, you're safe. Think of like who you feel safest around, you know, and focus your energy and love on that person, because it could be your friend, your grandparent, whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be another partner that, you know, it's your go-to, that you feel safe.
Even
We
you
all
can do
have
that
someone-
with strangers.
Yeah,
And just showing
exactly.
them kindness and love, a random act. So I think about those times where a random person behind me bought me coffee in the line. I'm like, oh my gosh, that made my day. That was an act of love. That made my day better. And that's just a ripple effect. So
Yeah.
Yes.
go out there and show some love.
Yes, to everyone. Happy February.
cheers.
Cheers
Yes.
to someone's behind.
Yes.
I love love.
I love love.
Thank you guys for
Enjoy.
tuning in.
Yes.
We're so excited for you guys to listen. Let us know who your love person is, or where you feel more loved, you know, if you are single or as a couple.
Salud.
Salud.
Tink, tink.
This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.